welcome to Hear Us Out. I am going to get us
Hello,
on screen. Hi. Hey, everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I am Patrick,
and I'm Paul,
and I
and
worked out
we're.
that you're above me there. Sorry,
Oh, am I?
I'm doing motions. Now we're side by side.
Ah,
So,
very
and
good.
yeah, and we're here side. And what are we going to do in today's live stream, Paul?
We're going to be talking about which are the stoppages of filming via TV and film, and what does that entail for coming months and possible, which goes down the road for the second half of 2020 and possibly the first half of 2021.
Yeah, first
So it'll
half of
be interesting.
2021 and maybe even beyond for some of the bigger productions, I guess. But yeah, it's there's no doubt we don't want to do too many episodes about COVID, but it's kind of hard to ignore that there's quarantine, lockdown, separation, all sorts of things that are stopping people from being able to produce the wonderful art that we talk about, which is all of the entertainment landscape. So, Paul, I know we talked about this a little bit in the previous video that
Yeah.
not everybody will be affected equally. You know, movies and TV shows, etc., will be affected differently. And we even talked about how you could make. I can't remember what example we used, but I just thought of one of the films that you recommended to me. I think it's called Buried. The Ryan Reynolds in a box.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds in a box. Yeah. Buried, which only has Ryan Reynolds for like the 2 hours.
There you
So.
go. So if him and the cameraman happen to live together, they could actually make that film right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting because yeah, there's certain films, even high level films, that could still be kind of done to a limited degree. Films like 300, which has a lot of post production, and as we said, Buried in 127 hours, which are very kind of
Oh yeah.
small cast. Small cast and kind of not really much interaction kind of group can like probably still be made. It's the big budget films like I'm surprised like Fast and the Furious or James Bond and
Yeah,
like
anything
John Wick and
location
that kind
heavy.
of.
Yeah, the real location heavy stuff. So, like, if it's a terrible thing to joke about, but if only this had happened back when they were making Men in Black International,
Yeah,
maybe we could have been spared that movie, or they would have had to rethink it at least. Oh,
yeah,
and I did just think of the movie that we used as an example. It was 12 Angry Men, my favorite movie. You can make 12
yes,
Angry Men right now, as long as those 12 people are willing to cohabitate for a while.
yeah. Which is bringing us to the interesting point. Right now, we were talking about last week, last week that for film, we probably won't get hit with the kind of outcome probably until later on in like probably first half of 2021, because that's just how long production of films and take.
Yeah.
But like TV, like you could film an entire season in 6 months, like after your post production stuff or your like your kind of pre production stuff. So that's where we're being hit more because it means that in possibly in 6 months to like the first half of 2021, we might see a gap in when TV shows are being released and everything like that. Anything that didn't get films and then sent to post production before the lockdown, we
Yeah.
probably won't see for another while.
And there is something to people will be like, well, it's like all businesses right now. They want to save money because they don't want to spend money making things when they don't have things out there raking in the dollars. There's no cinema going right now, so they don't want to spend while they're not making. Because of the nature of making entertainment, it is, as Paul just pointed out, it's a deferred thing. You make it now and it may not see the light of day for 18 months. And when it comes to TV, they really, really want all of their TV shows to be coming out while TV is in the position that it's in. Streaming services in particular, Disney Plus is coming to mind. They do not want. I know they were a long way along with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I almost said Captain and Captain again.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard
That
one.
and WandaVision and stuff. So they won't want to, even if it's just that they'd planned on doing pickup shots or had some episodes to finish, they will not want to delay the release of those shows because they want to get them out while people are still hot on the service.
Yeah, because we've been saying that WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier will end up. I also nearly said it. They're meant to be coming out in the summer months. And then Loki, which the other one is,
Mm.
should be coming out in a couple of probably. We were unsure, but it was either late 2020 or early 2021.
Yeah.
That's going to be delayed.
Oh, the time, and our video covered it beautifully, and I can't remember it now. We covered the calendar perfectly. That's blown out of the water.
Yeah.
Mandalorian 2 or Mandalorian season 2, that could well have some serious delays. I doubt it somehow. I think they'll find a way to make sure that another Mandalorian season gets out this year. I think there's enough green screen possibilities that they will make sure that Mandalorian season 2 goes ahead.
See, this is the other interesting thing about Mandalorian. There's like unless they had cities, like unless they have like in season two city kind of stuff, um, there wasn't a lot of people involved in like I think the largest cast at one point was like spoiler the finales.
Yeah,
Like the last two episodes probably had the most people in them.
yeah.
Um,
There was
which
there
is
was the
which
villagers at one point, and there's no spoiler to that, thankfully. So yeah, there's a few times where they would have had, again, never huge though. You're right, thinking about it, and I hadn't considered it. They never had a huge on-screen presence, really.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, unless season two had like a larger kind of like, yeah, we're in a city, and that we had to have a large cast for that because we didn't want to CGI a lot of people walking around and
So,
that kind of stuff.
so what you're saying is the parade scene is cut. It's completely cut.
Yeah,
Although they
yeah, no,
CGI
no
that stuff
Mandalorian.
anyway. Damn them.
Yeah, there's one guy, and then they just copy and paste him 100,000 times.
Yeah, we should apply.
Um,
Me and you, we can make up a crowd of thousands.
we could definitely do that.
Oh, yeah.
So Mandalorian, yeah, Mandalorian's kind of like one of those ones that it depends as definitely on how their kind of season was going to work out.
Mm.
Because because any reshoots or anything like that, as you said, that's not done, and depending on how they want to do it, they probably won't release season two until a while.
Yeah.
But like you're also going to see for film, you're probably going to see like the opening of the coffers of like really shit films that they were like they probably shouldn't see the light of day.
Yeah, well, there's definitely, like you've already pointed out, you got the 127 hours or Bear Eater and that sort of stuff. There's going to be films greenlit purely around the idea that they can be done quickly at a relatively cheap budget for home release. So I would say we're going to
Yeah,
see an awful lot more of those. Like the big Netflix films are still big Netflix films. I think there's going to be a little influx of really quickly made medium Netflix films. And not just Netflix. I think Amazon and the rest will probably get in on it too.
yeah. Like you'll probably see a lot of either, as you said, medium budgets, kind of small films like Arc. Actually,
Yeah, I
one
was
of your
thinking Ark in my head there. Wow, that's
yeah,
weird.
um,
Get out of my
like
mind.
those. I've been in a lot of people's minds recently. It would seem, um, but yeah, like those kind of films, which could in a way be really good because it could, like you might see the rise again of the small budget sci-fi films, um, which like are nicely written and kind of easily done with very kind of limited kind of CGI stuff. You could also see kind of like this a small short dramas and everything like that, like
Yeah.
small very short dramas,
Well,
in interesting kind of ways.
there
So
is no way on earth that we have ever suggested, and we've actually suggested the exact opposite. It isn't. It's not down to budget, and it's certainly not down to scope of locations that makes a movie. It's story, and then it's passion, and then everything else. If those two things are applied correctly, um, there is some of the best films of all time. We've already named one. Happen in one room or less. As in they're single locations. I really dig the idea because sci-fi is a genre that takes that so well. Arc being a great example. Arc, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's on Netflix, ARQ. It's a little sci-fi film in a house with a lot of big twists that we cannot talk about. We've recommended it in a previous video that we won't be able to link up there until this is after the recording, but we'll put in cards after. Um, the idea of what's the romantic film about the train station? Brief Encounter. you can do an awful lot of sci-fi, romance, and comedy without going too far. So I'm really hoping that this is juicing up some writers to maybe take things that have been knocked back in the past and give them a slight reimagining so that they'll see the light of day with an adaptation to work in this format.
Yeah. Like last week, you also talked about how Blair Witch projects,
Mm,
like the Blair Witch project and stuff like that, like horror films, low budget horror films, might make a resurgence as well, simply because they are quite easy to do, like quite easy to film and stuff. And I was also saying that there could be a possibility of a resurgence of the Handycam
yeah.
film, in a sense. Like,
And it's great if also there's one side thing that we haven't kind of mentioned. I'm not going to go all hey power to the world, but it will be nice if this helps out smaller film industries in other countries around the world. Particularly when it comes to horror, I've noticed a lot of the best up and coming young horror ingenues, the people making real groundbreaking stuff, seem to be coming from it's not America, it's not necessarily the Hollywood heartland. So I am hoping, and I think I mentioned there's going to be a guy somewhere in a forest in Croatia right now making something that is just epic with one camera and a brilliant idea. So I'm kind of looking
yeah,
forward to a lot of that stuff.
yeah, and like it's going to be interesting because there's going to be that gap where we'll see it coming, and there'll be that gap where like everything starts getting released, and we'll start seeing like that those certain trends where it's just like it seems like low budget but well written kind of things come out, and then we'll know this is where season three of like Westworld's already out, but like
Yeah,
season four of Stranger Things, which I do know is coming,
yeah,
Mandalorian season two, stuff like that was all meant to be in, but they decided to keep because like I guess studios have a two-way thing right now. They could either completely empty the vaults at a time when their audiences are captive,
mm,
and then try and recoup like at a time when people have like when the lockdowns were all finished, recoup at a time when no one wants to be inside and watching TV.
yeah.
Or they can kind of stretch out their thing and maybe fill it in with what we're saying is like well written, low budget, small cast and crew, like cast and crew, like shows or movies and stuff like that. So
Well,
it's going to
the
be interesting.
the streamers only think in two ways: how do I get more subscribers, and how do I keep the ones I have? So that there's a few business algorithms being tested out and trialed in that. But
Yeah,
it's exciting stuff, and it's great for me and you, Paul, because and it's great for all of you watching because we are going to be the place to come. We'll be watching all of these medium budget and small budget things that are coming out on all the services and telling you which ones are like Arc worth checking out.
hmm
So I can see much content telling you where the hidden gems are in the flood of things to come. Um, yeah, sorry, go on, Paul.
yeah. Like just saying that as well. Like the because we're talking about like Netflix and some of the streaming things. Our one of our kind of flagship shows here on Hear Us Out. Like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and also hit that like button down there. It really helps us out. Um, which is the streaming wars. Currently, that's seen as being on hold by a lot of companies, which is an interesting one, isn't it?
That what there's a bit of a truce at the moment.
Yeah, like a lot of companies like MBS, the only ones that are not like, because I was reading this earlier, just a preparation for this, and it was a story that I was like I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up, but it seems to be
Go for it.
just a little tidbit. MBS, the only two streaming services that might like kick in and might unbalance the whole thing all over again is NBC's Peacock, which
Mm,
is once again we've said is the most stupidest name in the world, and HBO Max.
mm,
They're the two that might cause ripples within the because I think right now we had the balance like Disney has just destroyed its goals and stuff like
yeah,
that for this year, and but it seems to have kind of gone into a steady state, and there hasn't been kind of they can't have like no one can have a war because they can't start filming anything new and announcing. There's no point in announcing too much things and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's only new streaming services that are coming online with their backlog that can really make ripples.
That's an
So it's
interesting
an
way of
interesting
looking
one.
at it, actually. Yeah. So Anybody that got here first, which was Amazon, Netflix, and then the Disney Plus, Hulu, etc., they are at a little bit of a disadvantage that they do need to add new things to be new. Whereas just the virtue of launching for HBO Max and NBC Peacock it's the new thing. It's what makes them new and makes their content new. That's interesting. Yeah, good point. I'm glad you brought that up, actually.
Well, like,
Yeah, good.
just thinking about it, yeah, like as your point, like I've just started rewatching The Wire, and like that's a HBO show, and if that was up on HBO Max and it was also released in Europe, there's like hundreds of shows that I know that HBO have done. Some of our favorites, Generation
Yep,
Kill, like,
you got there first. Yep, absolutely.
um, like those kind of shows. I'd probably start because I don't. My other thing is I know that there's new stuff, and I know that there probably will be a small gap. I'm trying to hold on to some of the newer stuff.
I
Um,
understand. You're
so
rationing
like,
yourself.
yeah, like I've been burning through West Wing and The Wire pretty quickly.
Well, can I
Um,
admit to something? My household here also went into a little bit of entertainment rationing, and we chose the method of watching the Oceans films in
oh
order
yeah,
of 11, 12, 13, and then 8. And all I'm
oh,
left
okay.
with is which is the worst Oceans movie, because I'd forgotten just how bad Oceans 12 was. Um, like, dude,
That's
God,
the
there's a bit of a mess going on there. I watched Oceans 11 going, that had the charm that I remember. And then the rest of the week was just downhill as the nights went on.
is Ocean's 12. Is that the one with the guy screws them over because he's a thief and he wants to prove that he's the best?
That's the one.
That is, it is. That is like what is that film? I think The Italian Job.
Oh, the remake of The Italian Job?
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
with Ed Norton and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
feels like half of it is that, and then another half is like a badly written Ocean's film.
I would even say you're being kind by saying half of it is anything other than just a really badly written film. But I definitely hear what you're saying. No, it's as bad as you remember. Like, myself and my wife looked at each other when it ended. We literally looked at each other and it was one of those, really? That's what we just watched. So rationing is out the window. Now we're straight watching everything that we want to watch. We're straight
Oh
to
yeah,
it. Because we can no longer do any sort of nostalgia moments that turn so ugly so quickly.
yeah. Like I've been work because West Wing's not a nostalgia thing. I watch that like probably religiously every now and again. Just the first couple of seasons, like first couple of seasons I watched like quite often. The Wire now that was a choice
Mm.
because I watched that and like I like the first two seasons are like to me are goals. Like they're absolutely amazing. The whole like the drugs kind of thing in or not Brooklyn, which goes
Baltimore.
Baltimore, and then the harbor one in season two. It's fantastic. I was really worried that I was gonna not like some of the polish was gonna come off, but no, gotta say,
Well,
really enjoying
it's
that.
yeah, it's up there, and we mentioned Generation Kill a minute ago. We should probably give it a shout out for anybody who's looking for something, if you can find it. Because again, we would like HBO Max to come out and come out over here in particular. Because actually, to back to the point, back on topic, if HBO Max came out here, I would get it not for new content. I would actually get it for all the existing content that they have that I know I want to binge watch. Like I nearly fell off the phone the other night when you told me Chuck was on Amazon Prime because I
Yeah,
hadn't spotted it in Amazon Prime's maze of an interface. But I love Chuck, and now I'm like, I actually have all of Chuck just at my fingertips that I can watch without trying to plug in DVDs or any of that kind of stuff. It's a game changer. I would have got Amazon Prime just for the legacy stuff if I'd known how much of the legacy stuff there was that I actually want to see.
yeah,
Luckily, I think Amazon Prime has some great legacy as well as some good new stuff. I'm enjoying a lot of their new stuff.
yeah. They just need to fix that interface though.
Yeah, they need to burn it with fire. Um,
Yeah,
so
but
back
yeah,
on topic completely. You had a great story about neighbors that I want to get to, but I think the way to lead to that is probably what are people going to be able to do if they want to
yeah.
get filming again?
So we should. The interesting thing is that a document has been kind of floating around a lot of the kind of European production houses, and it's slowly making its way to the Hollywood and the US kind of production houses, in a way of kind of doing this like post lockdown, um, in a kind of weird like grace period where we're still in lockdown, but we're not. We're slowly kind of like becoming released
Yeah.
and full release. Um, so the idea is that a cast and crew will essentially quarantine for 14 days in a hotel that they essentially just take over. After that, the cast and crews will be split into three pods. One pod, the first pod will essentially be on set, cinematographer, director, focus pullers, the actual cast, which with lighting, all those kind of guys. Second pod will be makeup and prosthetics, any kind of like that kind of like level, and then the third level will be props, sets, which goes that kind of group. Also like the gaffers
Yeah.
and sparks and all that kind of group. So it'll be very minimal kind of interaction between the pods and stuff like that. So that's the way that they're kind of doing this or having or kind of writing it.
It makes sense when you think about it that you will be okay. There's an awful lot of it takes a village to make a movie or even produce a TV show, but it is a finite number of people that if you can get them together and organize it, you should be able to make it safer, I guess. It does take a lot of organization and it does have to be very regimented and very, very strict. But it's not a free for all of saying we're just going to go to this location and shoot with different crews every day or whatever it might be. If you do it in the way that you've just described, I can actually see how this could start getting people back to work in the film industry.
Yeah, like it's a safe way of doing it. I believe that after the 14 days, they still do a round of testing for everybody. There's, as I said, they're spreading around a lot of the kind of production houses and studios and the unions as well, which
Yeah.
is an
So
interesting one.
what's the catch? Why? Where's the danger here that this mightn't take off?
So the dangers are because, which I know you want me to lead to the neighbor one.
Well, no, it's
Um,
just I love the anecdote that's coming up. So
yeah, so which goes Neighbours, which is an Australian production, which goes it's been on for yonks. Um,
yonk's the technical term
like
for on way longer than we care to admit knowing.
yeah, like
It's been
it's
on
yeah,
since I
like
was a kid and before Paul was born, literally.
yeah, like it is one of the neighbors like Emmerdale,
Home and
Coronation
Away.
Street,
Home
Home
and
and
Away was the
Away.
other Australian one, I think. Yeah.
That's the other Australian
Oh,
one, yeah, but they're
Easter Enders. East Enders.
EastEnders,
Is there
yeah.
an Easter Enders where they're all like eggs going, "I'll kill you, you dog."
uh, it's so weird.
It is.
But like yeah, the bad thing about this is because they have such a small crew. Like for background people, the neighbors are using crew members. So like any kind of like gaffers or anything like that are not kind of currently doing anything, and that's pissed off the. I'm going to look over here to
Oh,
see if I can.
SAG after
Yes,
the
SAG after.
yeah, the guild, the actors
Yeah,
union
that's
essentially, which is what that is.
it's the actors union for below the line actors. So the ones that don't get full credit, kind of stuff. They might not even have like any lines or anything like that.
Yeah, your extras and your little day players and things like that.
They have gone on the warpath with neighbors because essentially they're not hiring any kind of like extras or anything. They're just getting like gaffers. And what I'm interested in actually, because I haven't read it or haven't seen anything about it, gaffers and sparks are part of a union themselves.
Yes.
So would that union also be slightly pissed off? I know that their crew members are getting extra work because
Oh,
they're, but
yeah. If
but
there's a union leader or a shop steward in the comments, let us know. But yeah, no, you know what? I could imagine the unions being actually annoyed if they're doing non-union work, non-union tasks on a union side. Like I don't know the details, but yeah, it's a minefield that if I was neighbors, I wouldn't be stepping into. Let's put it that way.
yeah, like I know that there's no union, there's no. labor court that'll probably in any way hold up any kind of like court case between them, just because of the kind of
There's bigger things
the
going on right now.
yeah, and this just it's like it's special circumstances,
Yeah.
for
I
what's going
do
on.
have one of our commenters has helped out and said Neighbours has been on for 35 years. 35 years. I actually thought it was longer. And then they say it's been on that long. Jeez. So yeah, it's astonishing how long soap operas go on for. I think the longest running in the world, longest running TV show in the world is one that's still going from the 50s or 60s.
Mm.
So yeah, you don't want to mess around with unions now after 35 years of being successful. Don't annoy the people that are helping you make that for the last 35 years.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's interesting.
Yeah. Um, I think, and because we're heading towards time, my take on where we're looking at, realistically, where we're all looking at from, will TV and movie be affected by this? Yes. Is it the most important thing in the world? No. But because we have to talk about everything, we can't just stop the world. There are people and there are people's livelihoods that are involved in this. They're going to be trying to find new, interesting, and innovative ways to get through this. So, like the pods idea, the pre quarantine that you talked about, that's somebody thinking on their feet. But when you can use the phrase, people are going to have to get creative or be ingenious or use their ingenuity, and the group of people you're talking about are movie makers, TV producers. They're already these creative, wonder forces. I think, to put a positive spin on this, I think we could see some really interesting new and never before thought of, not just new genres appearing, but new styles and new methods of doing things. And if we're going to take something good out of this, yeah, TV schedules will change, but they might actually change because we're going to have a new type of or subgenre of TV showing up in the future. That doesn't involve location or budget, or maybe is more CGI, more animation, whatever it might be. So that kind of, when we're looking at a time when we need to look for happy things, that makes me happy.
Yeah, like that's it's going to be exciting times, and like a golden age within the golden age of TV would be interesting.
Yeah,
Like that's going
gosh.
to be very interesting.
And just when we
Um,
thought TV couldn't get better, there I am go, well, it might even get better again.
yeah, like, and this is the only way that we can see it getting better.
Yeah,
You know?
actually, we'll be doing an episode in 2024 going, TV, it's become too good. How can it be stopped? Can
Yeah,
it be killed? Tonight on Hear Sound.
like, yeah, TV industry kills off the film industry.
Human
Like,
relationships have stopped because people are so enthralled by the perfect golden diamond age of TV. What's past
yeah,
platinum something? I don't
double gold. I don't know.
know. No, double gold.
Which
I
sounds
think that's a
dirty.
drink, isn't it?
But yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Will it be the rise of the miniseries? Like
I hope
it's
so.
like it's going to be interesting. So I
Yeah.
just can't wait for because like after our miniseries stuff, the 2021 early age stuff, the late 2021 and early 2022 is all going to be about quarantine.
Oh, it definitely is.
All
Uh,
going to be about quarantine and COVID-19.
yeah, but you know what? I'm looking forward to the sweetest love stories about people who were trapped in quarantine together unexpectedly. Somebody who's on holiday. Yeah, I think SNL did a sketch about somebody doing, what's the apartment share thing? Not Uber. Uber for apartments.
Airbnb.
Airbnb. Thank you. Where somebody's Airbnbing and then they get trapped, as in there's lockdown and they can't leave the country, and all of a sudden they're in free Airbnb with somebody else. I can see somebody writing a wacky little buddy show where people, a little odd couple, they didn't like each other at first. By the end, they understand each other and they've learned about themselves. Blah blah blah, or sweet little love stories. In fact, that's what I think we should both go and write and end this episode now, so that we can be millionaires.
I can't wait for that show, but the horror version.
And that will be Paul's influence on the script. All right. Can we make
Yeah,
them
any
more
kind of
frightening?
yeah. There's a monster in the basement and no one knows about it.
Yeah, see, I'm just dark and depressing, but then you're like, yeah, dark and depressing, but can we add knives? Maybe knives.
Though, if you really want some of the dark and depressing stuff, and it's completely off topic, uh, our relationship advice, r forward slash relationship advice on Reddit, man, there's some dark stuff up there. It's just like I've been locked away with my roommate's racist boyfriend,
Oh
and I'm just
wow.
like, oh wow, I couldn't even write a script like that.
Eesh.
Like,
Well, when we're looking for inspiration, I know where to. If we run out of ideas, I know where to dip into now. Well, Paul, this
that's
has
the thing.
been awesome. I'm hoping that anybody out there that's watching has given us a little like, maybe even tickled the subscribe if they haven't already. If you aren't watching live and you're watching this at another time, hi future. I hope it's been good. It's still not too late to hit a like and a subscribe, but definitely leave a comment down below. Let us know what sort of stuff you'd like us to cover in future. And Paul, I will throw to you.
Which goes, yeah, so which goes, we'll probably have which is, I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I,
I was
we're
already
we're
this.
we're walking out of this. I threw to you at the wrong time there. Sorry.
I was no, that was my complete fault. Which was, yeah, so which was some interesting times ahead with TV and film kind of stuff, mini series and all the like. If you have any suggestions of nostalgia films and TVs that we haven't said here and that live up to the nostalgia, not the ones like Ocean's 12, which uh, um, also we'll do a review of Black Hole. So we
We're going to do review of Black Hole, the Disney Black Hole.
I
Let's do
don't know.
that. Let's
This
please do
is
that.
psycho.
I love that.
We'll do. We'll see if we can do like. Is there a Disney? Because there's Netflix party. Is there a Disney Plus party? Yes.
I don't know, probably. But I
We'll
think
check it
maybe
out.
what we should do is look at Disney Plus and find the three darkest films that are classed as kids' films. That seems like something we
Okay.
should do.
All right.
So,
Well, there we go.
suggestions down below,
So,
folks.
yeah. All right. So yeah, that's great. I've been Paul,
I've been Patrick.
and we've been here as out.
We'll see you next time. All right, Paul, keep everybody entertained while I try and find the end stream button. Found it. Bye.
Oh no.